Okay. All right. You ready?
Mhm.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nurse on the Money, the Gabriel Solo edition. I'm super excited to film this all by myself and to take you along in the journey. So, this video is primarily about our time in Mexico City. So, we spent 10 days in Mexico City and we ended up staying at four different hotels. And this is kind of like a amateur hotel review. Again, I am not ultimate hotel connoisseur, but I've been to a few places, so I think this will help you in trying to decide where to stay and what is actually a good value for your money. So to break this down, I would be rating four hotels on five criteria. First is value for money or points. Second is the service. Third is the location. Fourth is food and breakfast. And then the fifth is like aesthetic, amenities, kind of the whole vibes of the place. Now we can go ahead and get started. Before I start though, a few caveats. I am a World of Hyatt Globalist member. Essentially means I get upgrades and free breakfast. And all these hotels are loosely under the World of Hyatt, just so you know, and so it helps organize the information a little bit. So starting off, I would go right into my ratings. Okay, we're back. First hotel is the Hyatt Regency. This is the one in Polanco. It is right in the commercial district of the city. Going through my criteria, the first is value for money. I booked this using Word of Hyatt points. I believe it was 15,000 points a night, and I threw in a suite upgrade. So we actually got the suite, as you can see. Um, I gave it a 5 of value for money. I think the cash rates were in the 200s. Even at that, I feel like it's a fantastic location in Mexico City. Second is the service. While we were there were a bunch of like people there, but it seemed like a commercial location. So there was a restaurant and a bunch of other businesses in the same building. It felt like so they weren't really attentive. So I gave them a 3. Location, I gave a 4 because it's a very prime location. Walking distance to the museum and a bunch of other places. Absolutely great location. Food and breakfast, I gave it a 3 out of 5 because it just didn't give me any joy. The rotation was pretty much non existent. It was, do you want beans or do you want beans? So, but their green juice was absolutely delightful, but everything else was meh. And then aesthetic amenity category, it was Hyatt Regency. So if you've been to one of them, they all look kind of the same, very standard. So I gave it a 3. So overall ranking of the Hyatt Regency in Polanco is a 3.6, which is pretty good. Okay, the second place we stayed at was the Hacienda Pina Pobre. This is in the Talapan district of Mexico City. Going down through my ratings, well, this hotel is just like used to be someone's big house with a bunch of rooms that they converted into a hotel. Value for money, I gave it a 3 out of 5. I booked it like nightly rates were 200 and something dollars for the suites, and I say that's a good value, but not as good as Hyatt Regency, but that's good value. So that's a 3 out of 5. On that service, I gave it a 3 out of 5. Nothing inspiring, just man. The people were nice, but like good service. Location, this is where the Hacienda Pina Pobre excels. I gave it a 5 out of 5. It's the district itself is nothing like interesting per se. Like there's not lots of restaurants or anything around. But when you're in the hotel, you forget that you're in a city with 22 million people. It's like you stepped into the Amazon jungle with amenities. Absolutely beautiful. well secluded. I don't know if they did something to take out the city noise, but it is an oasis in that respect. So it's a 5 of 5. The food was actually pretty bad. I have a lot to say about that. First was they price all their items in US dollars, which is odd. Second is that they advertise free breakfast if you book through Hyatt, which I did. But what they ended up doing was giving you free continental breakfast, which was pretty much a bread and juice. And then you had to pay for everything else. If you don't want to give free breakfast, just say it and then we'll be fine and pay for it. That's just false advertising that got me going. And then the rest of the stuff on the menu too was just meh at best. So 1 of 5. Aesthetics slash amenities 4 of 5. Very aesthetically pleasing, as you can see. The amenities were nice, very nice place. Overall, 3.2 of 5. So pretty decent. Okay, I am at the Brick Hotel. This is a very popular hotel located in the Roma Norte district of Mexico City. Well, this hotel came recommended to me by Living Rich. Shout out to them. They went during just after the pandemic, so I'm sure their experience was different. But this hotel, it's a very like chic-ish looking hotel, or supposed to be anyways. I'll go into my review. Enough talking. First is the value for money. I gave this hotel a 1 of 5. If 0.5s were a thing, I would have given it if you could give decimal places. And I'll explain my reason why. First, it cost 20,000 worth of Hyatt points a night. The cash rates were well over $500. This hotel didn't have an ounce of Wi-Fi. We had to walk out of the hotel and use the free Mexico City Wi-Fi. We complained to them severally, and they said that they were just going through an upgrade, which, it's fine. But then I read the reviews on TripAdvisor, which I should have done before, but everybody complained about the poor Wi-Fi situation. So it seems like this is a running issue that they haven't fixed, and they still charge $500 a night, which is just obscene. Okay. Number 2 is service. This place, the people were nice. It was good service. They gave us welcome drinks, but I still gave it a 3, partly because that lady lied to me about the Wi-Fi. So, meh. The location, I gave it a 4 of 5. This part of Roma Norte is centrally located. I think we looked it up, and it's in a 0.25 mile radius. There are a total of like 270 plus restaurants, not including food stands. So you're right smack dab in the middle of it all. So location, honestly, hard to find a lot of things better for a high profile hotel anyways. The food slash breakfast, I gave a 2. Kind of like the Hacienda Pina Pobre, they are both under the small luxury hotel umbrella, and they do this weird thing about like breakfast where they give you like continental breakfast, which is like bread and fruit and nothing else. Anything else you have to pay extra, which is fine if you just tell us that we have to pay for breakfast and don't give us bread for free. That makes no sense. Anyways, I gave this a 2 because their breakfast had more than the Hacienda Pina Pobre's skinny breakfast. And it was a little bit higher quality, at least their orange juice was. Finally, is the aesthetic slash amenity. This hotel, I gave it a 2 because the aesthetics looks like Batman Cave, but failing at being a Batman Cave. I don't know if that makes any sense. It's super dark in the hotel, really like chic looking, like want to be place, but it just doesn't cut it in my opinion. We got a room without a window, which is just really weird, and they have all this like skinny staircases that it's just like it's an OSHA case waiting to happen in my opinion. Really dark rooms, not a lot of light, and the hotel is literally on the road. It's right on the street, so you can hear everything going on the street. And then across the street is a elementary school or something. So there are a bunch of kids there all the time. And amazingly, they somehow managed to block the entire street Wi-Fi from coming in. So it was even twice as bad. Anyways, so that's my rating. Overall, the Brick Hotel comes down to a 2.4, which is a smidgen under half. So it's bad, but it could be worse. All right, the last place is the Anders Condenser. This Anders just opened a few days before we got there. It's right next door to the Montreal, which is like another hotel brand, and it's located in the Condesa region of Mexico City. Going through my ratings, first value for money, you could book this actually with 12K Hyatt points, which is an absolute steal. Cash rates were like 500-600, which is ridiculous in my opinion. 12K Hyatt points is a fantastic, nice spot. What a steal. So I gave it a 3 of 5. Service, I gave it a 5 of 5. This is an Anders, but gave me a lot of like Park Hyatt vibes. You know you're at an expensive hotel when it's time for check-in, they make you sit down. That's the ultimate test, and that happens at every Park Hyatt, almost every Park Hyatt. So that like was how it was. Everybody knew your name. They knew how long you were there for. They had like a lady, just her whole job was to stand on the top of the escalator to welcome you. It was just amazing, in my opinion. Fantastic service, 5 of 5. This reminds me of our stay in Berchtesgaden at the Kempinski, Germany. That was an overall 5 and 5. It was perfect, but the service was that good. Location is a 4 or 5. You're in Condesa. You know what more do you need? It's a garden. It's an oasis in the city. So that's what I gotta say. You're walking distance to Norman Notre if you really want to go that far, but you're walking distance to everywhere you want to be, and it's really green, and they have lots of good food on the streets. Food and breakfast, I gave it a 4. It was by far the best breakfast we had in Mexico City in any of the hotels. They had a fantastic pastry spread. They had a well-stocked options, and I'm globalist, so it was all free. Maybe that biases my opinion a little bit, but for value, that was the best breakfast available in the city that we stayed at. And then finally, aesthetic amenity, I give it a 3, and that might be a little controversial. So this building used to be like an office building before the earthquake, and now it's a hotel. So our room had like this random pillar in the middle. Some people might like that, but it just didn't feel like a hotel from original intent. But regardless, it was good. I think a 3 is actually pretty good. Overall, the Anders Condenser comes in at 3.8, which is the highest rating so far. So just to like help you understand kind of how I thought about the Anders, it's a fantastic value for your money if you're staying in Condesa. Okay, wrapping it up, this is the end of my solo YouTube video. I don't know if I'll ever make any of this anymore, but wrapping it up, total, we stayed 10 days in Mexico City at 4 different hotels, loosely associated with the World of Hyatt. I gave the Hyatt Regency an overall 3.6, Hacienda Pina Pobre overall 3.2, the Brick 2.4, and the Anders Condesa 3.8. In general, I think if you're going to Mexico City to stay long term, I would highly recommend the Anders for the award rates if they have any award booking, or the Hyatt Regency in Pocano because it's a really good value for your money. That's my Mexico City hotel review. I will drop a few links about World of Hyatt credit cards if you want to sign up to start earning some points to stay at these places. Also drop a link for a Chase card too. But in general, that's all I got. So see ya.